worry. We did not forget commas at all. What we're doing now is we're adding something else into the mix. And again, I can feel the excitement. You're like, oh, what could it be? I can't wait to see. Well, after in grading yesterday, the last couple days, and I know this is something that's sort of easy that everybody knows about, but it's also, well, first we'll do this. We'll go, try to get that on. There we go. Right. First we'll go over this, and this will sort of lead into our next mini lesson here. So as I'm looking at this, be prepared and identify the mistakes in the following sentences. So the book The Shining by Stephen King is considered one of King's best novels. So in looking at that, what are some mistakes we have there? Yes, go ahead, Emma.
Capitalize.
What needs to be capitalized?
Sam. The Shining.
The Shining. Excellent. Yes. Okay. Anything else? Yes, Kate.
The last one.
So, yes, because that's referring to Stephen King. What else? Anything else? How many Kings we got there? Should be one, okay? And we have an apostrophe that should go in there, all right? So there we go, all right? There's one other thing that we haven't really touched on that I think we did talk about a little bit. The Shining is a novel. It's a longer work. What should we do with longer works? Excellent. If you either italicize, but if you can't italicize, you underline it. So bam, all right? So you underline, boom. Everything's fixed. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. Great job. Next one. Todd was watching the classic horror film Friday the 13th when I entered the room. So what are some mistakes that we need to correct here? Yeah, go ahead, Brian. Yes, the T and Todd. Very good. Yeah, read that. Yes, Friday the 13th. Yes, excellent. Good. Yeah. No. The I. Yes. Anything else? Beautiful. A movie. Movies are longer works. They need to be underlined. That is wonderful. Good. Anything else? There's also something else I did there. Refer back to our other rules we looked at before we're doing. This is a dependent clause. The dependent clause is following the independent clause. Do I need a comma there? No. I would take that out. Okay? So see how everything just sort of comes back together. Right there. All right? That's what we're looking at. Most of the mistakes here were what? Capitalization. You guys should know capitalization, and I know you do know it. The problem is, I don't know whether it's through rushing or whether it's just through, I really don't know, but it's still an issue, and I was grading the other year, I'm like, okay, this has got to be a mastery thing. It's got to be easy, quick. I'm not really going to spend a lot of time on it because I think you know it. It's just more of the thing that, like with those commas and with these, I'm going to be expecting you guys to get it done, to do it. You're sophomores. You should capitalize things correctly now. Okay, you should. A mistake here and there over something like a rule that maybe you don't understand or know, that's fine. I'll take that. But I'm constantly seeing proper nouns like, and I'll go to the next slide here. Capitalization. Remember, this is one of our demonstrations. It actually says demonstrate standard English capitalization is one of the actual things you guys are supposed to master. And we need to do that. Punctuation, we're working on that with commas. All right. We will have a quiz on this and comma usage. I'm not going to kill you, but I see a lot of people still with names, just names of people. They're not capitalizing. Okay, they're just for whatever reason. I'm going to start just taking off points. Okay, when that's found, because these are things you should know to capitalize, especially a name. Jean, Florida, proper name, proper nouns. Okay, Ashland. Cleveland Art Museum, Ohio State Buckeyes, when those proper nouns come up, you should know right away, I should capitalize these, okay? There should be no reason why you don't, all right? That's something you guys need to know and you need to start doing, because if you don't practice and start doing it, even when you're typing in on a discussion or something like that, all right, it's going to leak into your formal writing. So consider when you're writing something for me or us, if you're writing something formally, you need to capitalize. You need to watch those common uses. We're mastering these, okay? So I'm going through really quick rules. Here, capitalize the first letter of the first word in every sentence. Two people didn't do that. Went back and already saw, and went back and double checked. 2 people did not do that. And an assignment just handed in. And that's something everybody knows. The I, 4 people. Put down the old small I. And why do you think people do that? What's the main reason why people don't capitalize an I when they're writing something? Some programs do. but some programs don't. And so if you have one that you're used to getting capitalized and it doesn't, like on where you're writing now, then that can mess you up. Because sometimes we're so used to something else correcting our mistakes, we don't realize it. Excellent. Okay? So keep that in mind. Sometimes we just so used to things correcting our mistakes that we don't do it. All right? So go back and make sure that's something you need to know that you should do. Again, proper nouns, proper adjectives, Thomas Jefferson, Indian Ocean, Lake Erie, the Isle of Long. So anything proper, South Carolina, states, those need to be capitalized, okay? Government bodies, Boy Scouts of America, United Nations, Cleveland Browns, Congress, Ohio State University. So any institution, teams, names like that, Girl Scouts of America, okay? All of those. 2 weeks ago, I found like a box of Girl Scout cookies that I had hidden, because I was like, can I do that? It's so sad. And then I was like, but it was like a present, because those never go there. That's a real present, seriously. Months later. Anyway, capitalized names of historical events and periods. So the French Revolution, World War II, Special Olympics, U.S. Open. So these Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, okay? These are things that you need to make sure you're capitalizing. And you're not only in this class, this one comes when you're looking at your history. And I've noticed, when people are writing their papers, depending on what history class you have, you write some essays. When you're writing your essays and you're looking at these periods, make sure that you are capitalizing them correctly. Okay, the French Revolution, World War II, Civil War. Okay, that's important. Nationalities, races of people. Okay, make sure that you're capitalizing. Okay, deities, the names of religions and their followers, holy days, celebrations. Okay, gods and goddesses, the specific gods and goddesses. Okay, so make sure you're doing that. All right, businesses, products, Chevrolet, Whirlpool, Bank of America, Verizon, Ford, Sony Television. Okay, make sure you're capitalizing those specific names, brand names of business products need to be capitalized. All right, names of the planets, the stars, the constellations, other heavenly bodies. Okay, it takes Mercury 88 days to revolve around the sun. Sort of an interesting little factoid there. But again, you capitalize those: the Milky Way, Orion, Saturn. Okay, ships, trains, aircrafts, Flying Scotsman, Columbia, Sputnik, Spirit of St. Louis, Titanic. All of those need to be capitalized. Also, since they're named as ships, they need to be italicized too. That's a whole other thing. We can talk about italics and underline. So we have that. Anyone know who's famous for flying the Spirit of St. Louis? Anybody at all? Any sort of trivia, history? Charles Lindbergh? Anyone ever hear of that? He used to be famous. Okay, historically, maybe you guys will go over sometime. Anyway, awards, Nobel Peace Prize, Lincoln Memorial, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, all those. So for what you're going to be writing, and actually from now on, this is an expectation, I don't think it's an unrealistic expectation, that I need to see capitalization going on. And if you start losing little points here and there, it might add up. And I'm going to start dinging when I see like an I not capitalized, or a name, something especially, you should know. I'll start taking it out. It's just taking your time to make sure you're doing it, okay? So make sure you're focusing on that. Little mistakes like that can really detract from a paper, because when I read something, I'm like, oh, you're not capitalizing an I, all of a sudden I lose my thought. I know this is a wonderful thought, but if you don't capitalize an I, that can really take away from what you're writing. All right, so keep that in mind as we go along. All right, I'll hide that, exit from here. Now, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be writing our essay. All right, so I want you, with somebody around you, appropriately distanced, of course, okay, to do the following, once it comes up eventually. Discuss with someone in your vicinity while keeping appropriately distanced. When you think about the term essay, what are parts of an essay that are important? Be prepared to be called on to answer this. So I will be calling on people in a couple minutes. But talk to people around. Be ready with an answer. That's why I want you to talk to people. What are parts of an essay that we need to know? Okay? I want to turn the light on. The light is experience.
You guys sure you know the capital?
All right, does everybody have a couple? All right, somebody's going right to the cards on this one. You were, but I shuffled them. Maybe I should go back. There you were. 'Cause I did it in the alphabetical order. But now I'll shuffle them so they don't as much help. So, first one is, Ryan, can you give me something? What? The first one, you gotta have one, an essay. What should we have with an essay? Yes, you want to be able to punctuate correctly in anything you do. All right, so punctuation. Excellent. Okay, that's a bad marker. What else can we have in an essay? What else do we need? Next person, Aaron, what's something else we need in an essay? Conclusion, thank you very much. You need to have a conclusion in your essay. Now, an essay without a conclusion, people. Yes, what else we need? Essay. So you say, next card. Jaden.
THESIS.
A thesis. Oh, that's wonderful. That makes my heart happy that you guys are putting that down. Excellent. Yes, very important. All right, next up, Wilson. Yes, you have to have an introduction too. Wonderful. You need to introduce that thing. All right, Cameron. What's something else in an essay? What? Oh, spell, yeah, you want to spell things correctly, otherwise you can throw everybody off. So do a little spell check. So spelling, excellent. Okay? Tesla. Wonderful. What else we got? Let's see. Now we're starting to get. All right, let's see. Riley, do you have anything else? Can't add anything else, okay? Okay, looking at your grammatical. All right. Writing in your style. So proper grammar. Excellent. Okay. Anything else? Anyone else has something? Those are really a lot of the main. A what? Oh, there you go. And that could go with what? That's in your introduction. No, that's good.
Capitalization.
Okay, so this theme and thesis, we'll talk about that. The thematic sort of statement, but theme is more or less your thesis is what we're looking at. Oh yeah, you definitely want to capitalize. Your mechanics are important too. Very good. All right, anything else? Is that on there? What's that? Is everything okay? Why is it not okay?
Just an off day.
Okay, we got those. That's okay. Don't worry about it. All right, anybody else? All right, those are good. And if I had to group these, how would I, if I'm organizing my essay, what goes first? Yes, you have your introduction. So if I'm organizing, I have my intro over here with my hook. What else goes in my intro? So I have an intro. Well, yes, we're going to say this like punctuation and grammar, that all goes together in like a separate entity. Okay, these ones, okay? Yes, you're going to thesis at the end of your intro. Hook and lead into your thesis. After your intro, then you have your what?
Body.
Yes, your body paragraphs. And I like how you said paragraph. It doesn't have to be just one, depending on what you're writing about. Okay? Yeah. So body paragraphs. What else? Then what do I have after that? In body paragraphs, what should you have in there? All right, supporting details. Okay, evidence. Excellent. Okay, so your body paragraphs, you have all that. All right, good. And what else? Then we end with the what? Is there anything in the conclusion you guys can think? What would be in the conclusions of that? You state your thesis. Anything else? How do you want to end your essay? You want to leave a what? You want to leave. When you leave somebody, maybe somebody who you like, and you just met them, and you're like, oh, I really like this person. You want to leave a what? Somebody say.
I did. I said impression.
Okay. Good. Yes. An impression. How are you going to leave me this lasting impression on everything you did? So that's what we're looking at there. What is that lasting impression? Okay, when you're writing this. So excellent. Good job with that. So we'll go over this, and it seemed like you guys were pretty well on top of things. And that, what I can say, was wonderful. Oh, actually, I just need the lights. So again, essay writing, we're producing clear and coherent writing in which we develop organized style, appropriate task, audience. We talked about that. We're planning, we're revising, we're editing. We're going to start the essay process today. Okay, you're going to use technology to produce, to publish this. Okay, we're going to be doing this, and it's going to be a couple days. And in this, we're going to, when we're finished, this product's going to be amazing. It's going to be wonderful. So we're talking about the pre-writing, the planning, the outlining, the writing, the editing, revising, the final copy, all that going together. We're going to do the writing process together, and you're going to hand it all in, hopefully at the same time, so I'm not waiting for weeks to do one or the other. So again, you guys hit all of these. This is excellent. You hit the introduction. You hit the idea of a hook and the thesis in there. You hit the body and this idea of having supporting details and having evidence depending on what you're writing about. Okay, and then conclusion. Okay, you're restating the thesis, you're summarizing, you're leaving an impression on your reader. How can you leave an impression? How do you tie it up to everything else? All right, excellent job on that. Your introductory paragraph, again, you catch the attention. We're going to talk about attention grabbers, hooks tomorrow, different ideas, because sometimes that's the toughest part to which you can get the audience's attention. Okay, so hook them in. All right, so after the hook, then you need to lead into what is probably the most important thing, which is your thesis. And your thesis is going to come at the end of your introductory paragraph. And you lead into that thesis. Thesis is your roadmap to success. When I read that thesis in an essay, it's going to be telling me, I know what that you're going to be writing about. I know what to expect from your writing. That's what the thesis does for me, okay? So these are the different characteristics of it. It's good, it's on the topic, and it's focused. This first essay that you're going to do should be actually an enjoyable one. I mean, I guess as enjoyable as essays can be. And it's one where the thesis should be really easy to write. And we're going to use that to branch off when we write more difficult things. Your body paragraphs support that thesis. They're on target, they're focused, they connect with your thesis. All right, in those you'll give me details, you'll support whatever you're writing about, okay, and you'll see what you're going to write about soon. All right, and there are different types of details. We're going to quickly just break down, is it a factual detail? Is it a sensory detail? A figurative detail is what? Now, factual detail, you probably know right away, it's what? It deals with what? Facts or opinions. Factual detail, facts or opinions. You're looking at factual details. A sensory detail deals with what?
Sensory.
Senses. Yes, one of the 5 senses. When I read it, it deals usually what sense. When you use a sensory detail, usually what sense do you appeal to?
Hearing, feeling, touching, smelling,
Sight.
eating.
Yeah. Okay. Usually it's sight, but all of them you can't. A really good writer, hidden, like we said, there's all of them, all 5 of them. Okay. But sight is usually the one we're used to. And then figurative details. What is figurative language? Give me an example of figurative language. A simile. Yes.
Like a fairy tale, right?
What's that?
Fairy tale. Figurative.
And like has deeper meaning, like symbolism would be a part of like figurative language. Simile, metaphor. Yesterday I was out playing basketball with my youngest daughter and I was on fire. And I was just hitting everything. Now I wasn't literally on fire, right? It just means I couldn't what?
You couldn't miss.
I couldn't miss. I was popping those 10 to 12 footers. Okay, so that's what we're doing. All right, so that's figurative language. It's a metaphor. I'm not literally on fire. And sometimes when you play, basketball, you heard that. All right. So if I go, Neil Armstrong was the first man to walk on the moon. What kind of detail is that? Yeah, it's a fact. He was first man to walk on the moon. Darkness permeated the room, even with his eyes wide open. All he could see was black.
It's a little deep.
Sensory. Probably not the happiest, I guess, to really do. You should have something a little more, enjoyable, but set a better mood. But anyway, the journey to the moon was a voyage of exploration similar to those who first crossed the Bering Strait from Asia and headed down through the Americas. What about that? What do you think that would be? What's that? It was a voyage of exploration similar to those that first crossed. This one, you're using what we would call, as you're sort of comparing it to something else. It's similar to something else. It's not a simile. Okay? It's anyone ever hear of like an analogy? We compare something like it's similar in nature to something else. So it's analogous. So this one would be a little bit deeper of a figurative detail and an analogy there. But anyway, so this is all, the main thing is you're providing detail, you're providing facts, sensories, and figurative language. And then again, you restate your thesis, summarize sort of what you've written, and then what's a lasting impression, how you're going to leave it. Okay. We will focus on your capitalization. We're going to focus on comedy. Okay. So those are things we're going to look at. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Start things off. A little essay scavenger hunt. So what I have used, and I'm going to go to this because how many of you have done Cami before? How many of you have? Okay, see, most of us are going to be doing this, so I'm going to bring it up. Hopefully I've done this correctly. There's a chance I haven't. Probably about 80-20. 80% I think I did it right. 20% I could have messed it up. So on Cami, you'll download it, you'll get what I actually got a touch screen. And with that touch screen I have where you guys can use a stylus. Okay. So you can take one of these stylus, and on the touch screen, it'll help you because some of the things it asks you to annotate different things, like it'll ask you to circle things. So you can use one of these stylus in order to do that. Okay, but make sure you get the touch screen computer. There are two in here that aren't. I'll take those out. Here you go. All right. So you'll use the stylus, okay, and you'll go through it and you'll annotate this, okay, as best you can. Oh, here it is. So I'll just give this to you. This is what you're doing. You're going to be circling things, and you can try and do it through Cami or see how it goes with the stylus, whatever works best for you guys. And you'll have time to do this. When you're done with it, you can then come up so that I know you're done with it. You can come up and I'll have Starver stuff here. And I'll have them spread out so you can don't just pick, go for the two you want. You can take two. Sorry, but just touch those two. I used to bring like cookies and brownies in, but right now I can't really do that. Well, there's Starburst.
Why did we pick the worst year to have?
What?
Why did we pick the worst year to have? I could have been eating cookies right now.
I know, and my daughter makes great cookies.
What's that bag back there? Is that our cookies?
No, those are Starburst because they're packaged and I can give those out. But anyway, this is what you're looking at. It's an essay. I didn't want to get anything complicated, but you're going to break it down. You'll look at your notes there and what they say. Okay. It says you're going to circle and label the introductory paragraph. So you'll do that. You'll highlight the grammar. So does that grab your attention? Some grammars are better known in one sentence in one color, comment on whether you like it. So you have all these tools here in Cami that you can use. So go ahead, take time to play around with them. There's a drawing tool. There's an eraser. So, I mean, that's part of why we're doing this is to give you the opportunity to sort of play around with some new technology, a tech comment, markup. So you can do different things or try to do different things. Let me know how it goes. I hope it goes well. If not, then we'll chalk it up to you tried something new. All right. So take a moment. And again, these are pretty 1 through 19. Again, try your best to do it. We'll see how it goes on Cami. If it's a disaster, we learned a lesson. So go ahead and come up and get a computer. Let me take the two out that aren't touching. So you don't get them. On the stylus, no, I'm going to clean them off when we're done. Okay. The stylus, when you're done, I will be cleaning them off individually. Well, I just noticed it actually. Thought there used to be only two. Someone must have added a computer. It's probably in the wrong. Yep. There's one that should be in a different one. Oh well. Those are brand new, just opened the box. Like I said, we'll clean them off when we're done, and we're cleaning everything off. You know, I didn't get the individual ones. My wife got these up, so you can just take 2 of the. So you're gonna get 4. Apparently you have not had the brownies that we make here in Hawaii.
I'm just going home.
If the
That's
browns-
what I was saying.
if
They're
the
so
browns-
good.
In some ways, yeah, in some ways it's good because I'm not eating those brownies because they're really good.
They are.
But maybe, hopefully when things clear up later on in the year, we can. I'm sure they will.